As every commentary YouTuber has put out on Twitter, the second girlfriend had hit the tower. So apparently Miss Annie here has a little bit of a past with ImAllexx. Let's go ahead and read this part. My experience with ImAllexx. So we're going to read her statement and then we're going to see what other people have been saying. Okay? Hold on. Let me make my little person a little smaller so y'all can read along. Okay. My experience with ImAllexx. Though we never confirmed it to the public because I personally like keeping my relationships private. I dated Alex from June of 2017 till March 2018. You know what that means? One word. Slazo. Oh. It was the most toxic relationship I've ever been in, and I was lucky to get out of it when I did. When we were dating, though he was from England and I lived in America, we were pretty much never apart for longer than a week. We stayed in Europe for a couple of months, then went to America for 6 months. He couldn't stay 6 months straight due to visa implications, so he stayed 3 months, flew back to England for a few days, then came back to America for another 3 months. After 6 months was over and he couldn't come to America again for a while due to visa requirements, we spent some time away from each other. And during that time, with help of my friends, I came to the realization that I was in the worst and most toxic relationship I had ever been in, and I had to get out. It started out great, but as they always do, the honeymoon phase, as they call it, but as time went on, things just got worse and worse. I was fortunate to get out when I did, but reading all the new information that's come out, he's clearly gotten worse. I knew this was going to happen. I knew there were going to be, and you know what? I don't think she's going to be the last one. I think we're probably going to get one more ex-girlfriend that comes out. I truly believe it. It's a gut feeling. Now, I may be wrong. I mean, I'm not as perfect as y'all think I am. I mean, I'm halfway perfect, but, you know. During the relationship, he made me feel insane, like I wasn't myself anymore. I never felt like he listened to me. I always felt belittled and inferior. Whenever we recorded our videos together, he would constantly talk over me and never let me have my moment. I'm going to be honest. This part of the statement to me sounds a little clouty to me. It sounds a little like you didn't let me have my moment. It was my moment to have in that video. How dare you? I'm just saying. Most of the time when I had problems, he always somehow made it about himself. Okay, well, check. We saw that. Or talked about his own issues. He would get stressed out over his YouTube channel constantly and complain about uploading as it was the hardest job on the planet and no one had it harder than him. His classic line was, "I can't catch a fucking break." If we ever had a disagreement, he would also sometimes allude to the possibility of killing himself over minor conflicts as a threat. So I couldn't continue with the conversation. It was really impossible. It was nearly impossible to give him any kind of criticism because it was like adding to the pile of minor issues that he had already blown far out of proportion in his head. Another thing he did was spin his own narrative and twist words. He didn't just do this in the relationship, but he did it in his work and with his friends. Yeah, he sure did. Wait a minute, wasn't she there during Hot Wet Soup? Because didn't Hot Wet Soup happen before Slazo? Am I right about that? Didn't the Zap Tie stuff happen before Slazo? Hot Wet Soup was in 2017. Well, I understand you don't remember her being there, but she was dating him from 2017 to 2018 is what I'm saying. Okay, thank you, Ninja and Nani and everybody else who's saying yes. Okay, good. I'm remembering things correctly. Okay. But he did it in his work and with his friends. Yeah, we know that. It was the main reason why many people stopped talking to him because we started to realize that when there was even the smallest amount of drama and he heard about it, he would make sure to involve himself. I said this, I was recording a podcast episode on somebody else's podcast last night, and I made this statement. And the statement is actually very true. ImAllexx is literally the Xylie Star and Shane Dawson combined of the commentary community. Because every drama that happened in the beauty community, Shane Dawson, and we're talking about back then, okay, not right now, but back in the day with all the dramageddons and stuff like that, Shane Dawson and Xylie Star were in the middle of it somehow. Even if the subject had absolutely nothing to do with him, and he would just make everything so much worse. Like Xylie Star. For example, the Slazo situation. This hussy here. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Though it was never said in the original statements by Shay, he somehow came to the conclusion that it was, and everyone else got the blame for saying his words. Somehow the situation went from being guilty of being a bad boyfriend to all of a sudden he's a rapist. This was the final nail in the coffin, and I cut all contact from him after that. Wavy Webster says under her tweet, LMAO, you helped spread those Sazo allegations. Don't try to slink out of that. You heard a rumor, did zero vetting, and went with it. Take some accountability for what happened. You co-signed that false story. Wavy W. Nicholas Diorio, innocent people don't stay silent for this long. And why did Nicholas Diorio do that tweet? He wasn't just being a dickhead. It's because that tweet is still up by her. That tweet is still up by Annie. And what was Annie doing that tweet to? Oh, it's deleted. It was to Slazo allegations. And here's another tweet. Dude, it's still up, LMAO. In regards to the Slazo situation, Michael is still guilty for what he did in the past. Whether Shay intentionally or accidentally left some bits out, he still admitted to it in the video. But people are glossing over it. He gaslighted Shay, which is a form of manipulation. And then there's these. If someone talked to me like that in a relationship, I would have left. But Shay was 14 and she knew no better while Slazo was 16. That's a massive mentality difference during those ages. No, it's not. 14 and 16, really? Also, that's not how I remember it. It's a shit rebuttal. At this point, it's a he said, she said. I'm still sticking with my friend Shay. Though Shay may have made some mistakes, I don't want to be around someone who treats someone they're supposed to love like that. I hope she gets some therapy to sort out his issues. Now, what were you saying? So during the relationship, I bought him and I matching Alex and Annie bracelets for Valentine's Day because I was like, oh neat, a company with both our names. You can see him pressing the heart on the bracelet to his lips and back to nothing video, which he has since taken down from his channel. This is him complaining in a video. I do not care, I'm gonna be honest with you. This video was released in response to me breaking up with him. He uploaded this video after I stopped talking to him as a way of trying to guilt me into replying to him. He did to me what he has done in his relationship with Alice, where he would fly off the handle and get mad, then act all apologetic and said to try to get me to feel sorry for him and forgive everything he said and done. Lastly, the only time he ever laid a finger on me was when he grabbed me as I was trying to run away from a conflict. We were trying to record a YouTube video together and he was getting frustrated at having to restart the recording multiple times. He started shouting and beating his fist on the table, even going as far as breaking his microphone. I was scared, so I got up to leave the room, which is when he grabbed my arm physically to stop me. I remember saying, "You grabbed my arm," several times in shock, as if to say, who the fuck would ever grab someone like that? Once again, I was fortunate that was the only time something like that ever happened. I got out before it got even worse, as it clearly was the new information that's come out. It saddens me that all this, it saddens me that it's all come this far. I wish Alice the best privately, and it breaks my heart to have seen all the things she had gone through. I hope Alice's and my story show you what he was really like behind the scenes. If you're in an abusive relationship, please get out now. You can fix them. You can't fix them. Okay, I hope Alice's and my story, where was it? Never let me have my moment. Okay, well, here's the big difference between yours and Alice's story. Miss Slazo was guilty. Miss I jumped on the bandwagon. Here's the difference between yours and Alice's story. Even though the evidence is kind of shady, okay? At least she brought something to the table. You just have words and a video. That the video doesn't show anything besides him being sad. That's it. But you want to have your moment though, right? Is this your way to have your moment that Alex never let you have? Yeah, she has no evidence in here for any of it. But what there is evidence of is her talking shit about Slazo.